What's going on? Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports, and I got a six-pack of Yankees rumors coming at you. The first one I'm going to crack open with is Patrick Corbin, and is he about to be a Yankee pretty soon? According to John Heyman, Corbin's decision is expected to come soon. The Yankees, Phillies, and Nationals are all in serious contention for the left-handed starting pitcher. Less than a week ago, Corbin and his wife were welcomed to Yankee Stadium to meet with the club that he grew up loving as a kid. The Yankees wooed him in what GM Brian Cashman called more of an educational effort. Given Corbin and his family connection to the Yankees growing up near Syracuse, New York, well, the Yankees fans, Corbin wants to be a Yankee from what it sounds like. Now, usually Yankees just can, flaunt the rings and flaunt the team's success, and that's enough to get Corbin. But with so many teams trying to get Corbin, they're going to need to do a little bit more. Offering a 7-year deal to a pitcher entering his age 29 season may be a little bit risky, but Corbin is undoubtedly really, really talented. And I think one of the most interesting things that I saw was last week at his wedding. Corbin's brother stood up when he gave his best man speech and put on a Yankees hat at the end of it and said, "Brother, we want you to come back home." So if he comes back home to the Yankees, this is what the Yankees starting rotation's going to look like. Luis Severino is going to be there at the ace still. I mean, he's been great his first few years with the Yankees. But then Corbin's going to be the next guy, righty, lefty, and then Masahiro Tanaka, right-handed pitcher. James Paxton, who they signed earlier, a lefty, and then finish it off with the reliable CC Sabathia. So I want to know from you, do you want the Yankees to sign Patrick Corbin? If it's a yes, give me a heart. If it's no, give me a thumbs up. Do you want the Yankees to sign Patrick Corbin? For me, I do. I like the story of it. I'm coming home, Patrick. I would love to see it, so I'm giving my heart. Next rumor coming up here on the board, are the Yankees going to trade Gary Sanchez? So Elite Sports New York says the Yankees should ultimately trade Gary Sanchez. New York Yankees general manager has kind of weighed in his aspects on it a little bit. But before I get into that, even though Gary struggled in 2018 and 2017, I'm not necessarily all in for this trade. So here's the trade that was proposed. The Yankees would receive JT Realmuto, who's a catcher from the Marlins, who is basically a 280 or 278 career hitter, not too great. Gary Sanchez, though, he would ultimately go to the Marlins. I did state that Gary struggled in 2018, and he did. He played in 89 games, hit only 186, 18 homers, 53 RBIs, which is much, much different from his great 2017 campaign. And I think Gary was a little bit banged up, and he seems pretty prideful, and I don't really think he ultimately admitted to being banged up. So I think Gary's going to have a bounce-back season in 2019. So with that being said, do you want the Yankees to trade Gary Sanchez? I want to know from you. I want you to type K for keep or type T for trade. If all we can get is JT Realmuto, no. I'm thinking we should keep Gary Sanchez because I think he's worth a lot more than that. Hey, we all have good years. We all have bad years. I think it's going to be a bounce-back year for Gary Sanchez, who I think is a really talented all-around hitter. And just sometimes, baseball is a weird game. Sometimes you're going to struggle. Next rumor coming up here on the board, the Yankees are targeting Yusei Kikuchi. And yes, that is how you pronounce it, Yusei Kikuchi. I say Kikuchi as well. Left-handed Japanese pitching prospect is available, and the Yankees are interested. As per baseball guidelines, the Lions basically, Yusei's still under contract with the Lions, okay? And ultimately, he has until 5 p.m. January 2nd, 2019 to sign with an MLB team. If he doesn't sign with an MLB team by 5 p.m. that time, he's going to go back and play with the Lions. An interesting little thing here about Yusei, he played at the same high school team with Shohei Ohtani, the Angels' star player. Now, if Yusei ends up coming to the Yankees, this is what the rotation is going to look like. I think it's still Severino is going to be the top guy, and then it's Tanaka, and then James Paxton, CC, and from what it sounds like, Yusei is going to be the bottom guy of the five-man rotation. He's still ultimately a pretty talented player, but there are some concerns when a pitcher comes from Japan just because the talent pool isn't as great as what he faced in Japan. Now, he did have a great 2018 season, and in fact, he also had a great 2017 season. Through 163.2 innings, 14-4 record, 3.08 ERA. The whip is a little bit high, I think, for what I would want to see from a pitcher coming out of Japan, but still, ultimately, Yusei Kikuchi is a pretty talented left-handed pitcher, and the Yankees are definitely interested in a left-handed pitcher. So, I got a little did you know here, because I had no idea how to say Yusei Kikuchi, so I figured why not throw a little trivia or Little did you know it, you guys. Did you know more people have walked on the moon, 12, than players who have scored against Mariano Rivera in the postseason 11? Pretty cool, right? If you think so too, give me a heart on Facebook. Heck, if you're on YouTube watching this, comment Y for yeah, that was awesome. You know what else I think is awesome? BetDSI. And Chat Sports, we have the best promo code on the internet thanks to BetDSI. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code LIVE120 for a 120% deposit bonus. Mitch, what does that mean? You put down $100, you get $120 for free. Put down $500, get $600 for free. If you want to bet on the Yankees or any MLB team for the entire season, there's only one place to do it, and it's at BetDSI. Next rumor coming up here on the board, Andrew Miller. Is he going to be headed back to the Bronx? One of the targets the Yankees have been linked to is actually a former Bronx Bomber. Andrew Miller spent almost 2 seasons in the Bronx before he was traded to the Cleveland Indians in 2016, with the Yankees getting a haul of prospects in return. Since that trade, Miller has spent 2 full seasons in Cleveland, compiling some pretty impressive numbers and quickly becoming a fan favorite. It's clear that Miller knows how to handle the high-pressure situations, and he also knows how to handle the AL East. Last season, though, not such a great year for Miller. 34 innings pitched, 45 strikeouts, 16 walks, still the 3.51 ERA. But this dude has just been battling some injuries, and when you're just talking about a 33-year-old who's going to be looking for multiple-year contract, I don't know if it's really in the Yankees' best interest to sign a pitcher who's just dealing with a slew of unfortunate injuries. So, with that being said, injuries come, and it's part of baseball. It's a long season, 162 games. Do you want the Yankees to sign Andrew Miller? I want you to type Y for yes or type N for no. 33 years old, slew of injuries, and then they're already starting to rack up. I think when you see a pitcher with the amount of innings pitched he has, just 33 years old, and the injuries are slowly starting to pile up, Andrew Miller is unbelievably talented. But I'm worried about the injuries and the fact that he wants a long contract. I'm going to type my N for no. I don't want the Yankees to re-sign or to sign Andrew Miller. Next rumor coming up here on the board, Joakim Soria. Are the Yankees interested in the right-handed relief pitcher? Once the rotation is set, Cashman is expected to turn to the bullpen, which could see the departure of 2 key arms, David Robertson and Zach Britton, both of whom are free agents. And, as I mentioned, they are getting attention from the Boston Red Sox. MLB.com's Gary Sanchez reports one option the Yankees are exploring is relief pitcher Joakim Soria. Here's what you need to know about Soria. He's 34 years old and split seasons between the Cubs and Brewers last season. The 11-year veteran was a midseason pickup for the Brewers, who lost to the Dodgers in the National League Championship Series. His best season was 2010, when he saved a career-high 43 games for the Royals. And in last season was also pretty good, 2.43 ERA. The walks are a little bit high from what Soria normally sees, but 60 innings pitched. He was a pretty solid lockdown reliever for the Brewers, as they really turned it on late into the season. And if they lose David Robertson and Zach Britton, I'm telling you right now, the Yankees are going to need to add a right-handed relief pitcher to that bullpen. And Joakim Soria is a reliable 34-year-old. So I want to know from you, if the Yankees sign Joakim Soria, would it be a good or bad move? So if you're watching this, all you got to do is type G for good, type B for bad. I want to know from you. I'm going to probably type my G for good because I think you're going to be able to get Soria a little bit cheaper. And yeah, why not, right? You know what's not good? Wrinkled shirts. But luckily, at Mizzen & Main, it's impossible to wrinkle these things. And if you guys want to wear some awesome Mizzen & Main shirts, see that link down there, www.comfortable.af. Why is it .af? Because these shirts are indeed comfortable as F. I promise you, you will not wear a better dress shirt. Heck, you can wear these to the gym. You could probably wear these to a Yankees game. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees out, you're not going to sweat because you literally can't in the sweat wicking technology. Mizzen & Main, thanks for letting me look pretty good today. The last rumor coming up here is Cashman wants Manny Machado. This one is really interesting because you're going to hear a lot about Manny Machado all season. I can almost guarantee that. The New York Yankees could be one of the teams to make a major splash this offseason and remain potential suitors for superstar shortstop Manny Machado. Now, Manny plays short and third, so he can play in multiple positions. But according to Andy Martino of SNY, many rivals believe that the Yanks will ultimately pursue Machado. General manager Brian Cashman is on him. Believe me, he really wants him. Martino previously reported that the Yankees were lukewarm, so something may have changed recently for him to report that all of a sudden the Yankees seem a little bit more interested. And Manny's a 5-tool player, there's no doubt about that. A career average of 282. He can hit, he can field, he can really just about do it all. And the fact that he could just play shortstop and fill in for the Yankees, who really need an infielder right now, I think is a good move for the Yankees ultimately. So, with Didi Gregorius out with the torn UCL or Tommy John surgery, Manny Machado might be able to step in. But he's not the only team. There's a lot of suitors for Manny. So, according to BetDSI, here are the top destinations for Manny Machado. The Phillies are sitting there at in first place with plus 220 odds. And then Dodgers a little bit lower down there at plus 750 odds. It's interesting. Yankees at plus 400. I really want to be able to put my money on the Yankees. And then the Marlins, I'd be surprised if he's on the Marlins. It is where he grew up, and his name was Mr. Miami when they give out the jersey. So not really crazy about that one. Or you can bet on the field at plus 100, who do have apparently the best odds. So I want to know from you, because we've talked a lot about Bryce Harper. We've talked a lot about Manny Machado on past Yankees Rumors episodes. And I want to know, is Manny Machado overrated? I want you to type in O for overrated or P for properly rated. I think he's properly rated. Now, I think all MLB players get overpaid. I'll say that straight up. But I think he's properly rated. I think he's a good 5-tool player. He could probably hit around 300 for the Yankees, and he's a really solid defensive player. So, I'm going to type my P. But I want to know from you, is Manny Machado overrated? Let's do a quick little recap here of my Yankees rumors that I went over. Is Corbin coming to the Yankees soon? Fingers crossed on that one. Are the Yankees going to trade Gary Sanchez? That doesn't seem to be very likely. The Yankees are targeting Yusei Kikuchi, and yes, it is Yusei Kikuchi, but it's just more of we're looking for left-handers, and he's a good one. Is Andrew Miller on his way back to the Yankees? This one doesn't seem all too likely. Joakim Soria, could he be coming to the Yankees in that relief, or be a relief pitcher? That one has some actual potential for the 34-year-old. And Cashman, does he want Machado? Sure, a bunch of MLB teams do, but also you got to get it at the right price. And Brian Cashman is something that I'll always respect. That dude spends money when he wants to. I want to say what's going on. You guys can follow me on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. That's all the Yankees rumors I have for you today. I'll be back next week with more. So until then, I'll see you.